the first episode of the Ironheart After Show here at MUSE TV.
My name's Nichola Renteria.
I'm Diego Carranza. Thanks for joining us. What did you think about the first episode, Nick?
Honestly, the first episode's pretty exciting. When I watched it, I really wanted to watch the other episodes and get straight into it. So, there's definitely a lot of topics to talk about in this one episode. So let's get into the first one.
Yeah, I feel like they get right into the point a lot faster than other Marvel TV shows we've seen in the past. You go straight in, we see this girl, we see Riri, and we just see her inspiration and drive from Iron Man.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of Falcon and the Winter Soldier in that way.
Yeah, definitely. Because Falcon and the Winter Soldier was all about continuing Captain America's legacy here, and this whole show is about Ironheart or Riri continuing Iron Man's legacy. So we're definitely going to see how that plays out.
Yeah. Only here it just happens so much faster. It's just like it's exciting in a way, but also it's like, where is this going to go from here? It started off so strong. She's just making her iron suit. She's trying to be just like Iron Man, and now it's just, what's she going to do now?
Yeah, exactly. Because in the first episode, we definitely see her struggling a bit here and there for the suit in general, but she's willing to do anything in her power to kind of bring that back and to continue to build. That's what we kind of see in this legacy part of Ironheart. Yeah,
it's kind of almost like, at least in her mind, it's almost like continuing on with Iron Man, and that's a theme that we've seen with past Marvel shows like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I think here it's almost like pushing it further. Like before it was like even the Falcon can become the Captain America. Now it's like even this girl, this young child prodigy, can be like Iron Man, or at least that looks like the direction she wants to take it in.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's pretty good, spot on.
This young, poor girl from Chicago, Illinois.
Just
trying to follow her dreams very aggressively. And you can see in her personality there's a lot of parallels to Tony Stark.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Even beyond personality, we even see MIT. Tech
for
genius,
sure.
All this stuff.
Yeah,
definitely laid it on heavy.
She's really smart. We did get some information. She even gets to college at 15 years old, which is insane. Which just goes to show how smart she is.
Making sure we know that she's very smart.
Yeah, just making sure that they put it out there. That's really cool.
Yeah, direction-wise, I think that this episode was really good because it kind of showed her emotions and the blocking of said emotions.
Yeah.
Just in her path to try and achieve all this, despite all the adversity she might face, and despite all the things that she might not be, all the kind of things that are expected of her that she might not really be participating in at school and family, just because she's so focused on just this technological drive.
Definitely. So let's talk about, that's a little bit of the legacy part of what she's trying to continue, especially for Iron Man, of course. But let's talk about a little bit the culture that's kind of involved in the first episode here. So right here it says that they use crystals in this episode, especially black obsidian, which is supposed to be like a protective type of crystal. It's in spirituality, it's supposed to ward off negative energy. So I think her grandma, it was.
Some relative in the episode.
Yeah, some relative was like, hey, you should have this black obsidian, and Riri, the main character, is like why should I have this? But it's kind of like a big question, why? What negative energy does she have with her that is supposed to be warding off,
Yeah, and I think everybody can kind of see that there's something wrong with her except for her, or at the very least she's kind of blocking that down.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show another thing, people are even like, oh, yeah, it's quite literally saying there's negative energy in you, which is, I think, kind of like a funny little way of the writer saying, yeah, this girl has problems right now.
Yeah, definitely. Because later on, we kind of see sneak peeks of, especially in the beginning of the episode, like flashes of her memory coming together. Like there's definitely something wrong that had happened to her in the past.
Yeah.
So definitely this, the crystals can definitely show that she has something bad in the past, right? That's gonna have to come out later.
Yeah, and it's definitely affecting her now. I mean, look what happens to her in school. Look what's already happened to her in the past. She's clearly, despite being this genius, she's not exactly what you would call a model student.
Yeah, for sure.
And you could even say that is another parallel to Tony Stark. He's a very disruptive type of guy.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think she's definitely inspired by that. But yeah, it's an issue for her life, definitely. And it's just, how is this issue going to affect her? How is she going to work on it? Or how is it going to cause more problems for her down the line?
Yeah. Yeah, that's really spot on. All right, so that's a little bit of the culture that's kind of involved in the first episode. But now we do get a glimpse and like a little, kind of like a sneak peek, not really like a full, like detailed explanation of the bad guy, but we do have like sneak peeks here and there of the villain in this episode and like what he's capable of doing. Like I think I think he's the Hood or something.
Yes, yeah. You see this sinister-looking guy.
Yeah.
Bladed on. At least, the very least, it looks like he's our villainous character. And
yeah, for sure.
Very clearly, kind of almost like, I don't want to say like the devil on her shoulder, but he's like kind of like a force to driving her to this one cause when she doesn't really want to do it, but she's willing to do so much to achieve these technological dreams of hers.
Yeah, for sure, because she's struggling for money in this episode, and she needs the money to get her suit back, right? So she goes to this guy, and we'll definitely see that later on in the next episodes of what happens.
Yeah, it's kind of like a dilemma. It's her being driven to do I try and do things the honest way, even though I'm a poor girl in Chicago, or do I cut corners a little bit? Yeah,
exactly. So, but yeah, that's what we see of the Hood here. So, we'll definitely see how he grows, and I guess like how the show shows him in his truest form later on. All right, so let's talk about the location and where it takes place. It takes place in Chicago, Illinois. Yep. And it also presents the modern day like challenges that it has, and like its problems and its struggling environment. So
yeah, it's almost like a cynical message to it. Like, yeah, you can have this girl who's a genius and everything and wants to be like Tony Stark, but she's from the poverty-ridden streets of Chicago.
Yeah,
and she's a black girl, and she's just facing things that just look harder for her in general.
Yeah,
and her family
for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of definitely like it's almost like a stark contrast with Tony Stark.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of parallels between the two here. It's just that with Riri Ironheart is she's just in a struggling environment, and it actually makes it pretty relatable, that someone that's struggling is trying to have this upbringing or this new legacy here, which I think a lot of people try to do, nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's pretty relatable, and honestly, I want to see more of it.
Yeah, she even says it herself, like she attributes a lot of the contributions to science to Stark Industries, but she acknowledges the fact that she doesn't really have all these resources herself.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like bitter about it, but she wishes she had those resources.
Yeah, for sure. And when she does have those resources, like we did see in Wakanda Forever, she did build this really nice suit. So if she can somehow get those resources here in this show, we'll definitely see what her potential is,
Yeah, and I think they even draw that kind of contrast of resources in the very beginning of the episode, coming from, MIT over in Cambridge, and then she has this whole lab, and then suddenly,
for sure,
suddenly, she flies and is brought all the way back home.
Yeah, and when she's home, she's basically starting over, right?
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Almost like reflective of that, her suit immediately falls apart.
Yeah, it's a new beginning, right?
Basically, back to square one.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's all we really have to talk about Season 1, Episode 1 of Ironheart. Thanks for watching this episode. If you like this, feel free to like and subscribe to MUSE TV and MUSE TVX over on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Yeah, bye.